Okay, sorry about that. Of course, we are still figuring everything out, but we're gonna go ahead and get started here on both platforms. So, okay, very good. All right. So, anyway, welcome everyone. Today we'll be talking about questions and answers in English. So, if you have any questions about English, anything at all, there's no such thing today as a bad or stupid question. So, any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll go ahead and get started. I'll begin with some questions that my students have had this week and kind of the last couple weeks that I think are really good. Y sobre todo hoy vamos a estar enfocando en las preguntas, pues las preguntas de la gente hispanohablante, porque la mayoría de ustedes son hispanohablantes, entonces vamos a estar hablando un poco en español y pues hablando de dudas que tiene la gente que habla español. Entonces es lo que vamos a ver. Entonces, las preguntas los ponen en el chat, pero vamos a empezar con esas dudas que tenemos. Ok, ya, la primera cosa es que a veces en español y en inglés el uso de los tiempos verbales son como confusos y un poco diferentes. Por ejemplo, we will start like this. If I say in Spanish, for example, ya viene, how do you say this in English? For example, maybe I'm at the restaurant and the waiter is walking to my table and I say, okay, ya viene. What do I say? Do I say he comes or do I say something else? So in English, ya viene would actually be he is coming. So you can say, yeah, imagine the waiter in restaurant is walking towards you. You would say ya viene. But in English you would say he is coming because it's something that's happening at the moment. It's not it's a continuous action in English. So en español sería como él está viniendo, pero en español solo dice ya viene. En el español a veces se usa mucho el tiempo presente. También en inglés, pero en inglés a veces usemos el continuous tense y también el future tense para ese caso. Entonces, if you want to say ya viene, you would say he is coming, not he comes. So let's see what other things we have. All right. The next one is when you should use the future, but you use the present. So, for example, if you want to say, llego en 5 minutos. Llego en 5 minutos. Mentira, todos saben que vas a llegar en 30 minutos, pero uno dice, llego en 5 minutos. So, the direct translation in English would be, I arrive in 5 minutes. But in English, we don't say it like this. We would say, I will arrive in 5 minutes. So we would say, I will arrive in 5 minutes. Or you could say, I'm going to, como voy a llegar. I'm going to arrive in 5 minutes. Entonces, sí, en inglés los tiempos verbales son muy literales. Entonces, en español, cuando alguien dice algo en el tiempo presente, pues a veces usan ese tiempo para hablar de cosas en el futuro o cosas que están pasando ya. Pero en inglés usamos todos los tiempos verbales. Entonces, you would say, yeah, I will arrive in 5 minutes, or I'm going to arrive in 5 minutes. So, does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions? So I'll put here differences between the tenses in English and Spanish. All right, so remember, it's very literal. If something is happening in the future, you will put it in the future tense. All right, so I have a few other examples here. All right, let's see. All right, a couple other examples. So let's say, for example, you are out of town and you're going to return tomorrow. And your parents ask you, "Oh, when will you be back?" And you want to say, "Llego mañana." You would say, "I'm arriving tomorrow." I'm arriving tomorrow, or maybe I will arrive tomorrow, but it sounds best to say I'm arriving tomorrow. So not I arrive tomorrow, but I'm arriving tomorrow. Same thing if you have plans. If I say, "Oh, when do you get off work?" If you say, "Salgo a las ocho," you would say, "I'm leaving at 8." So not I leave at 8, but I'm leaving at 8. And this is if you're talking about today. So if you say, for example, todos los días salgo a las ocho de trabajo, you would say, every day I get off work at 8. But if you're talking about right now, you would say, I'm leaving at 8. So sometimes in Spanish, when you use the present tense, in English, you're going to use the future or the continuous tense. So, all right. Any questions about this difference between English and Spanish, or any other questions here? Feel free to put any questions you have in the chat. So we'll emphasize this one. Ya viene. He is coming. Llego en 5. I will arrive in 5 minutes, or I'm going to arrive 5 minutes. Llego mañana. I'm arriving tomorrow. I will arrive tomorrow. And salgo a las 8. I'm leaving at 8. So in English, we use this continuous tense a lot more. Okay. Any doubts or any questions about that? All right. So now we'll look at another kind of common confusion point between English and Spanish. So this is a structure in Spanish where you say quiere que vayamos, or for example, desea que, for example, trabajemos juntos, or something like that. So the common mistake that many Spanish speakers make is you guys say, he wants that we go, or he wants that we work together. But in English, we don't use that. So in English, we would just say, he wants us to go, or he also, he wants us to work together. So you see, it's a little bit different. We kind of remove this que, and then we add in us or them or something like that. So let's look at a few more examples of this. All right. So let's do this. Let me get some more examples. More. All right. One moment while we get a few more examples. Does anybody have any questions so far? Are your streams okay, whatever. Very good. So, all right. So, How could you translate this sentence here? How would you say this in English? If in Spanish we say, quiere que vengas mañana, would we say he wants that you come tomorrow? No. We would say he or she wants you to come tomorrow. So the structure here is going to be the subject plus the verb plus the object and then plus the verb infinitive, which is this basic form, which is to plus the verb. So he wants us to go. He wants us to work together. He wants you to come tomorrow. So remember, don't say quiere que. Yeah, he wants us to go. Very good. Awesome. Yixin. Welcome. All right, let's look at another one here. How could you say this next one? All right, very good. Yeah, he wants you to come tomorrow. All right, what about this one here? Espera que lo entienden. How could you say this one? So this one would be maybe he hopes. So I will do it. Okay. You will do what? Yeah. So tell me. Yeah, very good, Yixen. Let me know. I'll wait for you, and you can tell me what are the answers here. Okay, very close. Very close. So you would say probably in this case maybe he hopes, perhaps. So you could say he hopes you understand. So instead of wait, but yeah, you would say he hopes you understand, and maybe we would add it. And I don't know what I did here. I think I made a mistake with I don't know. I made some mistake with the format of this. But anyway, this would be he hopes you understand. Okay, very good. So, all right. Now we'll do another example here. Quiero que me escuches. So I'll say, quiero que me escuches. How could we do that one? Well, the next one here, mi jefe quiere que entregue el informe. Okay. All right. So this next one, you would say, I want you to listen to me. Very good, Natty. Very good. I want you to listen to me. Perfect. All right. What about this one? Mi jefe quiere que entregue el informe. ¿Cómo sería eso? Yes, this one was going to be my boss. My boss wants. They would say maybe him to bring, or maybe, yeah, maybe we'd probably say turn in the report, perhaps. My boss wants him, or it's a bit ambiguous, her, or even you, perhaps, because of this entregue, we don't know who, or me, sorry. Yeah, my Spanish is very bad. My apologies. But, yeah, very good. Me, yeah, very good. Very good, Hickson. Very good. My boss wants me to give the report, or maybe turn in the report. So, we'll do one more example here, and then we'll move on. And of course, si alguien tiene alguna pregunta en inglés, solo me escribe en los mensajes y yo les respondo. Lo que estamos haciendo en el momento es hablándole las preguntas y sí, las dudas que han tenido mis estudiantes durante la semana, pero si alguien tiene otra pregunta, me escribes y hablamos de eso mejor. All right, we'll do one more and then we'll move on to the next topic. So here we have él quiere, él quiere que su equipo gane. All right, very common sentence. Él quiere que su equipo gane. What would this one be in English? Okay, we'll go ahead and put the answer here. He wants, he wants, you can say his team to win. So, él quiere que su equipo gane would be he wants his team to win. So remember, the most common mistake is the overuse of that. So people often say he wants that I go, but just he wants. Very good, Nadia. He wants his team to win. Perfect. So this is kind of the basic structure, more or less. Subject, verb, object, and then the infinitive verb. So we'll go ahead and check my list and see what is the next topic. All right. So the next topic is a Spanish phrase that has three translations in English. So, contar con. So, in English, there are three ways you can translate this phrase, contar con. So I'll type out the three ways, and I want you guys to tell me how you can translate these sentences. So I'll put the first one here. I'll say, siempre puedes contar conmigo. All right, so that's the first phrase. Go ahead and put a 1 here. All right. And the next one will say, el hotel cuenta con piscina. Okay. And then there's one more. Let me check my notes to see what is the example. All right, very good. You can always count on me. Okay. Hickson, yes, that's correct. You can always count on me. So this one is a bit tricky. So this, in some cases, translates to count on. So here we have you can always count on me. So, entre el inglés y el español, la tema de las, pues de las preposiciones es un poco complicado, porque a veces tiene sentido y a veces no. The hotel has a pool. Very good. Exactly. So, the hotel has a pool. All right. The hotel has a pool. So you see this contar con could be count on, it could be has, and then there's one other meaning. So give me 1 second, let me find my other example. Okay, this is what it was. Yes. All right. So, all right. So the last example here, no contaron con el mal clima. How could you translate this phrase? No contaron con el mal clima. So this one is a bit tricky. We would say they didn't. You could say consider. Okay, pretty close. Yeah, they didn't realize. It's pretty good. But it'd be a bit better to say they didn't consider or maybe take into account the bad weather. They didn't take in mind the bad weather. Okay, very good. All right. So, but here you wouldn't say with. You could just say the bad weather. So they didn't take into account. They didn't consider the bad weather. All right. Very good. So you guys can see here that this one little phrase in Spanish has three meanings in English. So consider, take into account. So, does anyone have any questions about these ones? So let's do a couple more examples. So I'll put this here. La empresa cuenta con más de 200 empleados. La empresa cuenta con más de 200 empleados. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here. And if you have any other questions, of course, feel free to write them. We can talk about any English related topic. All right. So, la empresa cuenta con más de 200 empleados. What would that be? Okay. So this would be the company has more than 200 employees. Very good. All right, perfect. Very nice job. The company has more than 200 employees. All right, very good. Both of you, very nice. Very nice job. And we'll do another one here. All right. Say, hay que contar con un presupuesto limitado. All right, let's see. Presupuesto limitado. Okay. So how could you answer this question? Okay. So this one, you would say you have to or we have to. So maybe you have to or we have to. And then we would say consider or take into account. You're right, it is a bit tricky to consider the limited budget. So that would be one way to say it. Okay? Yeah, we must consider yeah, we'd say probably a limited budget or something like this. But, okay, very good. So, do we have any other questions about contar con and the three main ways that we use it in English? All right, very good. So, now we're going to move on to another common error that a lot of people have with English and Spanish. We're going to talk about a couple verbs that are commonly misused. So, the first verb is existir. Now, of course, existir in English means to exist, but this is very commonly overused. because it can mean to exist, but it could also mean there is or there are. And in English, it's much more common to say there is and there are than to say exist in most day to day contexts. So let me show you guys an example. So if I said, for example, in Spanish, it's very common, existe una iglesia en el parque. So in English, we would say it's much more common to say there is a church in the park. Because when we say, and I'll put this here, I'll say there is or there are is more common. So there is or there are is kind of like saying I. So, por ejemplo, cuando yo hablo español, yo casi nunca uso existe, porque estoy traduciendo de inglés y siempre digo como hay una iglesia en el parque, hay otros restaurantes y la gente me entiende, entonces nadie me corrige, pero sí me he dado cuenta que en mis clases mis estudiantes dicen mucho exist, and en inglés suena un poco raro decir exist. So exist in English is more about whether something is real or not. For example, when you're talking about religion or God. So you could ask someone, for example, do you believe that God exists? So this would be a more common use of exist to talk about like a bigger something more, yeah, like more theoretical, more metaphorical, and not something very concrete like there are 4 restaurants or there is something like that. So exist is not as commonly used. And so let me get you guys some examples with exist. So give me one moment, I'll find some example sentences. Okay. Yeah. For example. So let's see. Yeah, pretty much in most cases, but another example of a time you could use exist would be, for example, do you believe that um, aliens exist or something like this? Like there are aliens on other planets, and so in most day-to-day English, it's much better to say, do you believe life exists? Do you believe exists life on Mars? Okay, very good, but we would actually change the order a little bit. So you would say, so here we'd probably say, do you believe that life, um, yeah, that life exists on Mars? So we would change around the order a little bit. But yeah, very good. Do you believe exists life on Mars? So we would just change that slightly. So, okay. But yeah, that's one common example. So let me change this. All right. Now, another common mistake is with this verb assist, asistir in Spanish. You're very welcome. Thank you. So, asistir. So if I say, puedes asistir a, a la reunión ahorita, how would I say this in English? Asistir. What would be a way that I could express this idea in English? Would I say, can you assist the meeting in a while? Oh, oh no. It says my phone needs to cool down. What the heck? Is it hot? I may have to stop the live stream here. I may have to change it. It says my phone is too hot, so I may have to change to my other phone. One moment. Yeah, all right. We're gonna have to end the live stream here on YouTube or on Instagram. But please go over to YouTube. It's just telling me that my phone is overheated, que está muy caliente el teléfono. Entonces me va a tocar cambiar el teléfono. Entonces dame un segundo y ya vuelvo. Okay. Can you attend the meeting right now? Exactly. Very good. So that is correct. Can you attend? So assist means attend. All right. So we're going to have to end this here on my phone, but we will be continuing on YouTube. My YouTube channel. Let me just type in my YouTube for you guys here so you guys can see it. It's mm, heck, it's going to be business. Why can I not see it? It's business English grant. So you type in business English grant, business English grant. Yeah, there we go. So anyway, if you guys want to continue, I'll be over there. So I'll see you guys on YouTube, hopefully. All right, very good. So we'll go ahead and we'll continue here on YouTube. All righty. So any questions? All right. So yeah, we were talking about asistir. Can you attend the meeting right now? So let's say this. Can you attend the meeting? Why is it so hot? Anyway, all right. So can you attend the meeting right now? So remember, assist. We do have the word assist in English, but to assist, it means to help. So in English, to assist means to help, and to attend, it means to be present. Or yeah, to be present. Like you typically would say asistir a. So attend, it means to be present somewhere. But that's the main difference between assist and attend in English. So most of the time, when you're saying assist to talk about going to some kind of a meeting, really you should be saying attend. All right, I'm gonna try on my phone again here on Instagram. We'll see if we can get. Let's see if we can get going again on Instagram. Hey everybody, how you guys doing? We're gonna set it up. We're switching phones, and we're gonna see if I can make this work. Ah, on my. There we go. All right. So hopefully my camera on this phone is also good enough. Zoom in a bit. All right. Maybe I can. Maybe you guys can see me here on Instagram again. But all right. So any questions? Do we have any questions? Any doubts about English or anything like that? Oh, very nice. Okay, you made it. All right. I changed to my other phone, but on YouTube you can see the screen a little bit bigger and you can see my lovely face. So glad you were able to find it. Welcome here. So, all right, let's move on. The next topic is going to be, yeah, the next topic is going to be prepositions. So we're going to be talking about prepositions and how they're a bit confusing between English and Spanish. So let me find my big list of prepositions and we'll go ahead and get started. All right. So our first preposition is going to be pensar en. So we'll title this section Differences Between Prepositions in English and Spanish. So we'll see what we find here. Difference in prepositions between English and Spanish. All right. Very good. Let's see what we got. So, so if I say pensar en algo or pensar en alguien, how would I say this? It's better. Okay, very good. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, it's you can see the full screen, and yeah, hopefully the quality is better. Perfect. So, how would I say pensar en algo? So if I said, for example, estoy pensando en ti. If you want to be romantic, you want to talk maybe to your partner and you want to tell them, hey, estoy pensando en ti. How would I say that in English? Would I say I'm thinking in you? What would be the correct way to say this in English? Mm, sorry, okay. All right. So we would say, I'm thinking about you. So instead of saying thinking in, we're going to say, I'm thinking about. So pensar en is thinking about. Oh, why is it doing that? Okay. So we say, I'm thinking about you. So pensar en is going to be thinking about. And so how could you say, for example, if I told you, or if I asked you, en qué? I guess you wouldn't really say this. You'd probably say, ¿qué piensas? But what if you wanted to say, ¿en qué estás pensando? If you wanted to say it like this, how would you say this in English? Maybe this isn't really a real phrase in Spanish. Maybe it's my Spanglish. But how would you say this? But this is very common uh, in English. You would say maybe, ¿qué piensas? Or you would say, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? All right, very good. So, pensar en is going to be thinking about. All right, very good. So let's see what we can do here. All right, let me look back at my list. All right, the next one is going to be depender de. So we're going to talk about depender de. So, okay. If I say depender de algo. All right. Welcome everyone who is just joining. Right now, we're talking about prepositions that are different between English and Spanish. So, and I apologize for the shaky phone on Instagram. You guys can check us out on YouTube. The link is in my bio. It's Business English Grant if you guys want to see me on YouTube. But how would we translate depender de? What would be the translation? Is it depend of, depend about? How would we say it? Oh, I can't see the messages here now. I'm back. Okay, wait, let me see. I can't hear you on YouTube. Oh, on what's going on with my stuff? Was there a problem with the sound over on YouTube? Let me. All right, one second. I gotta get to where I can see the chat. Oh, there's no sound. Okay, one second. All right. Thank you guys. Give me a sec. Uh, oh, okay. What about now? All right. What about now? Can you guys hear me now? I had my other headphones connected. My Wi-Fi, my Bluetooth headphones. Somebody let me know if there's sound now on. There's now sound on Instagram. put something in the messages chat. Let me connect my. Give me a sec. I'm gonna. Okay, wait, left. Anyway, and sorry to everyone on YouTube. We're trying to do get everybody where everybody can hear me and see me, so we can all learn here together. But while we're doing this, all right, put something in the messages if you can now hear me on Instagram. The, what about now? ¿Me puedes escuchar? All right. Anyway, esa vaina que. All right. Anyway, so depender is going to be depend on. So not depend of, but nope. Ay, weón. Ay, no. ¿Para qué? Ah, entonces, ¿qué hago con mi vida? Is this the second one? All right. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh, what's happening here? All right, we're gonna try my other microphone, and we'll see. Maybe this one will connect. And okay, maybe this one will work. We'll see. We'll try to put this one back. Could be working now. Uh, let me see. Okay. Yes, sounds good. Okay, thank you, Eliana. But what about on Instagram? I know on YouTube, but on Instagram, uh, yes, I am talking. Hey, everybody, can you guys hear me, or it's not working? Huh. If not, we'll have to just continue over there on YouTube. On YouTube I can hear you, but here, okay. Anyway, all right. I'll see you guys on YouTube. If you want, it's Business English Grant. I'll put it here. Yeah, switch to YouTube, please. It's Business English Grant, and we'll continue over there. I apologize. Yeah. So anyway, see you guys over there. All right. Ciao. Hmm. Whatever. All right. Sorry about that, everybody who's here waiting on YouTube. Thank you for your patience. Bit of technical difficulties. Es que soy profe de inglés, no soy profesional de IT, entonces ya, a veces pasa ese tipo de cosas, pero bueno, ya, así es la vida. Digamos. All right. So, here we're talking about prepositions that are different in English and Spanish. So we got depender de, we discussed. Okay. All right, perfect. Thank you guys for moving over. All right. So we got depender de, and this means to depend on. So we don't depend of, we depend on. So to depend on someone, or maybe to depend on something. And so this is how we would use this one, or someone. So for example, you could say, we are depending we are depending on you to finish the project, for example. All right, we're depending on you to finish the project. So you can say, maybe my family depends on me to take care of them, or something like this. So not depend of, but depend on. All right, next one. Let's talk about dreaming. We'll talk about soñar con alguien. So if you want to tell someone que estoy soñando contigo, or que sueñes conmigo, o algo así, how do we say this? Do we say dreaming with you, or what would be the correct What is the correct preposition? We would say dream of. So this is going to be to dream or yeah, dream of or about something or yeah, very good. I dreamed about you. Perfect. Someone or someone. And we also use this in the same way that you would in Spanish to say, ah, es que sueño con comprarme una finca o algo así. So you can say, I'm dreaming of buying a finca in the mountains or something like this. So for a real dream, like when you're sleeping, or a dream as in something you really want in life. So I'm not kidding. So yeah, that's how you would say this. All right, next one. Now we'll talk about marriage. So if we want to say casar con alguien, or yeah, we have some romantic topics today actually. So casar, or it's going to be the same, casar, o casar con alguien. How would we say this? So you say, for example, he married, or we'll we'll say, se casó con su novia. How would we say this? So here we actually don't use a preposition. We would just say marry or kiss. So you would just say he married his girlfriend, or maybe yeah, he kissed his girlfriend or something like this. So in Spanish you would say con, but in English we don't add this preposition. It's not necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put all of this information here in the chat on YouTube. So if you guys want to, I'll put, yeah, viewer. So if you guys want to review these notes later, you can. So you guys can go back and you can look at them and you can kind of have this information. So we'll go ahead and finish here for today. We've been going for about an hour now. And yeah, if you guys are interested in taking one-on-one or group classes, I offer services for English, for business English, for all levels. And yeah, I'd be happy to teach you. So I offer one-on-one and group classes. And I also, yeah, that's pretty much it. So you guys can reach out to me on my Instagram profile or send me an email here at Grant at Business as Usual English if you're interested in these types of services. So if you guys are interested in supporting my work, all the streams and videos I do here, you can use this link. But feel free to just check out this page, use it to study, and you can always ask me any questions you want. Just send me a DM on Instagram and I'll get back to you. And I may make a video about it. I'm always looking for new ideas to make videos. So if you have any question, always feel free to ask me. I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of these notes here on the screen. So let me see this. I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste the rest of our notes. Give me 1 second. Give me the. So I'll post the rest of the prepositions that we mentioned here so you guys can check out these later and you guys can see some of these. So I'll go ahead and put that list down here. So we didn't have time to get to all of this here today. I've got some other things to take care of this evening, but you guys can check out the list here and study and of course ask me any questions. So I'll stick around here for a couple more minutes. If you guys have any other doubts, any other English related questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. And then if not, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap up here for tonight. But thanks again, everyone, for being here. Yeah, a brief apology about all the technical difficulties, but that's all right. We're trying to make a good experience for everybody on all the different platforms. But we'll go ahead and start to wrap up. So, in about, yeah, I think in about an hour or so, I'm going to be going live again, but I'm just going to be doing my personal studying. So I'm going to start trying to do a live stream every day, but it's just going to be me studying languages. So right now, obviously, I speak Spanish and I speak French, but I really need to improve it. And so I'm going to be live streaming my studying, mostly just for my own personal benefit, but also I'll be talking a little bit about how these different things translate into English. So if you guys are bored or maybe you're also interested in learning French, I'll be studying French here maybe in about a half hour or an hour or so. But I want to do like one day where I study Spanish in the evening and the next day study French. And pretty much the only way I'm able to motivate myself to do it consistently is I need to stream it or I need to find a way to also be able to make some type of content with it because my main focus right now is growing this channel and reaching as many people as possible to help out with English and other languages. So I'll be back live maybe in 30 minutes or an hour, but I'll be studying French. But you guys can come back if you're interested in that topic. But anyway, we'll go ahead and wait a little bit longer. But if you guys have a question, let me know. Please subscribe to the channel, share this with anyone you know who's learning English, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great night.